novamusic.com.
Okay, hi, Dave Smith here at the NAMM show. We're showing our new product, the Tempest drum machine. Actually calling it a drum machine is a little unfair. It's really a musical instrument, which I think you'll see here when we show it to you. Basically, it's an analog synthesizer-based instrument, which means different sound than everybody else, a whole new way of looking at drum machines, all percussion-oriented. It uses a lot of, if you're familiar with our instruments, you'll know, have some familiarity with the voice, and it all can be changed in real time. But what's really cool about it is how it's integrated with the sequencer and the drum machine side of things, which we had Mr. Roger Linn do for us, and Roger will talk a little bit about that side.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just flip this on. Something like that.
Put it on. Yeah, there it is.
Well, as Dave said, first of all, it's 6 analog voices that are really very rich and complex, and they have that beautiful sound that Dave's synths have. But it also has samples as sound sources. We've got quite a few samples inside that you can use it as sound sources. But you've got 2 analog oscillators, 2 digital oscillators that can be used as samples, low-pass filter, high-pass filter, VCA, all kinds of feedback, audio modulation capabilities, 5 envelopes, 2 LFOs, 8 modulation paths. So it makes some wonderfully rich, complex sounds. The thing that I really focused on this was the operating system. In music today, in beat-oriented music, people like to create a performance where the fascination is in not only watching the completed music, but the creation of the music, sort of the reward is in the journey. And so in this machine, we have quite a large variety of tools to make music in different ways, but you never have to stop the beat, no matter what. So if you can, for example, create one beat using real-time programming on the pads, and then switch to another beat without stopping and create another beat with step-time programming using the animated lit pads in TR-808 style, then a third beat, then a fourth beat, and then use beat pad mode so you can use the pads to arrange the beats in real time, transitioning on bar boundaries or 2 bar boundaries, not unlike live. And with this arrangement, if you go into record mode at that point, you can actually record the arrangement and then go out of record, have that arrangement, that song, play its list of beats while you're overdubbing and playing parts on top of that. And you never have to stop. And during the time, you can use many of these modulations and tricks we have. For example, we have these little pressure and position sensitive note effects sliders. So for example, I could be recording an analog snare drum sound, and I could use position for filter frequency and pressure for filter resonance, and record that into the beat with each note, and then alter it on a playback, record the alterations. I can do manipulations on any of the sounds. Let's play some of the beats. Now if you want, I can just do sounds and alter them. But if I'm playing a beat with beat pad mode, I can use those same controls to alter the entire beat. Now I'm arranging in real time. Now I can manipulate. Now I can arrange. Pads can be used for 16 beats, 16 sounds, 16 tunings in a variety of different scales, 16 mutes, 16 time steps for step programming, 16 velocities. So it does all this stuff in real time, and it never leaves the analog domain. So the beauty of the sound of these analog voices is never altered digitally. And that means that, for example, if you want to add distortion, we add analog stereo distortion. If you want to add compression, you add analog stereo compression. There's even the ability to do audio delay, but we do it entirely in the analog domain. In the mixer, there's a send control for each of the 32 sounds that you have with each beat. And you can turn that up, but what it does is create a MIDI delay, so it stays in the analog domain. You can even use a stutter effect if you're using the beat pads. You can use the roll function with the beat pad pressed and get a stutter effect, but it does it with the sequence so you stay in the analog domain. So there's all these different tools you can use to manipulate, create, arrange music without ever stopping during an entire performance. And it's really a wonderful piece of work for a new musical instrument for beat-oriented music. That's a nice overview.